Welcome back. In this demonstration we are going to learn how to fold the frog base, which I might also refer to as base number 5. Before we get started, look at this model and you'll see that there are 4 of these long points here at the bottom. Okay, there's 4 different points. And then there's also these shorter flaps here. 1 here, 2 on the inside here, and then 1 on the reverse. Okay? Now, when I unfold this, you'll see the very intricate fold and crease pattern here, and you'll see that these pieces here are mountain folds, and these pieces go each and every opposite. One is mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. Okay? And to fold this model, you will need to start with a preliminary base. So, depending on where you are in the world or what kind of paper you have, you can use a square or you can use a regular sheet of paper. This is a A4 size piece of paper, and I'm going to turn it into a square, taking this corner, folding it down, and aligning these edges to make them parallel, using my bone folder to crease it, and scissors to trim off the remainder of this paper. Okay, once you have this square, you can make your preliminary base either method that I've shown in the past with the magic button or with your squash folds. I'm going to do this with squash folds, so I'm going to take this corner and fold it over to the left hand corner, making a valley fold down the center. Then I'm going to lift up this point and separate these flaps and squash fold the center, so this crease that's the spine right now lays right flat down in the center, and these edges are lined up here. Then, flipping my model over, I'll take this corner, lift it straight up, separate the flaps, squash fold the spine here down so it meets the center line, and these folded edges out here are lined up. Here's our preliminary base, and from here we start with the folding of the frog base. Now, on the bird base, you take these bottom flaps here and you fold them into the center. On the frog base, we continue squash folding. We take these 4 flaps. We've got 2 on this side and 2 here underneath. You're going to take this flap and you're going to lift it up, and you're going to separate the flap again and squash fold the spine down. Now, you might want to use your bone folder to separate that flap all the way inside, and then take this spine and squash fold it down, making this triangular form here, like that. Now you're going to do this 3 more times. 1, 2, and 3 down here. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece, fold it back over this way, take this spine, fold it up, separate, squash fold the spine down so it lines up with the center. Bone folder. I'm going to flip my model over and repeat those steps. Take this flap, fold it vertical, separate the flap, squash fold the spine so it's in the middle, like that. Fold this flap over, pick this flap up, separate it, squash fold this flap so the spine is in the center, like so. And then fold this one back over. Now you'll see that you've got 4 points. 1, 2 on the inside, 3 on the top, 4 on the bottom. Now you'll notice a difference here. This triangular kite form here is different than if I flip this one over and I have this open flap underneath here. Now, to make the frog base, you'll need to have your model opened so that you see this inside flap. Now we're going to create a petal fold. we're basically going to follow the same steps that are in the bird base. You're going to take this bottom edge here of the top flap and fold it in to the center. You're going to valley fold it in so it will look something like this, kind of like, you know, the beginnings of a kite base or the beginnings of the fish base. Then take this bottom here and fold it into the center, just the same way, like that. Okay, now once you have these two flaps folded in, you're going to unfold them and you're going to petal fold this area here upwards. What we're shooting for is a valley fold right here from this corner to this corner here. And then we are going to be doing a mountain fold right along this line and a mountain fold right along this line. Okay, so if I take this point and fold it up, these flaps come back into the center. This point folds all the way up. And sometimes you have to kind of help this area crease in by just gently pushing it and forming it so that it folds in along that center line. And again, folding this crease in so that it folds down along that center line. Okay, so that petal fold will create this little extra flap that sticks up. Now that you've finished that, you're going to need to repeat that step 3 more times. Once here, here, and then the one that's on the bottom. So I'm going to just flip this over, 1, 2, and you'll see again I've got this pocket. Valley fold the bottom inside. This bottom edge, valley folding it inside. So I have this kind of fish base formation, opening up those little edges and creasing it here, valley fold, taking these edges, reversing that crease to the inside, and mountain folding the corners there, then folding this flap back down. And I have 2 more to go. I'm going to flip my model over, and here's one set, again taking this area here and valley folding it inside. Now taking this edge here and valley folding it inside. Now unfolding those 2 flaps, lifting here for the petal fold, valley folding right there along this crease, reversing these creases in for mountain folds, and then gently realigning this edge here so it's along the inside. Okay, and then take this, flip it over to the left, and here's our last one. Valley folding the bottom edge in towards the center. Valley folding the bottom edge in towards the center. Opening those 2 flaps up. Valley folding this so it's a petal fold. Folding upwards and gently recreasing the top portion so it lines up with the center. Recreasing this top portion so that it lines up with the center, like that, and then folding that down. And now I have my finished frog base. Just like that first model we looked at, I've got the 4 long points here, which usually end up being some kind of arms or legs, and then these smaller points here. Okay, so this is how you finish the frog base, which is probably the most complicated base to fold and will be required for one of your models in your final artwork for my art class.